Hello and welcome back to the third rail. This week I thought we should talk about fads, not the hula hoops or the more recent fidget spinners, but these hoppers, which were built for the transport of iron ore and coal. There were several variations of them produced in the thousands from the 1950s onwards. They were all based on a similar design with a top loader, side and loader arrangement, and depending on the type there would be different lengths of doors, release mechanisms or couplings. Let's have a closer look at an example of them called the Fad167. It was produced in a single series of 4,200 units between 1954 and 1965. It entered service with the designation OOTZ 50, which it kept until 1965, where it was changed to FAD 167. The classification changed again in 1980 and became FAL 167. The wagon measures 11.5 meters in length and can carry a maximum load of 56.5 tons. That's for a volume of 75 cubic meter. These hoppers remained in service for a very long time, for over 40 years. Their withdrawal from service only started slowly in the mid to late 80s and finished with the privatization of the Deutsche Bundesbahn in the mid-1990s. They were usually arranged in 2,000-ton consists and could be seen in various areas of the German railway network. Usually they were pulled by the strongest the Deutsche Bundesbahn had to offer at any one time in various traction arrangements. There was also a 4,000-ton consist example, which is the legendary Langer Heinrich, in which the hoppers were modified with different couplings. The consist was made of up to 50 cars and was usually pulled by two powerful freight locomotives. At the beginning the BR42s and 43s, and then later on the BR44s. With such an imposing presence, it's no wonder that these trains became a popular topic with train spotters and photographers. So as a result, they're very well documented with hundreds of pictures. Of course, the topic was also very popular with model railroaders, and Märklin produced numerous models and box sets in all sorts of variations over the years. I must admit I've got quite a weakness for this topic too, so much so that I kept a few sets I had acquired before I changed the theme for my collection, and I thought I'd take them out to try and recreate a few consists based on a few pictures I found on the internet. So I'm going to try and recreate a 2,000-ton consists. Fortunately, I have a couple of the sets you've seen in action just before, so I'm going to use both of them. This is only going to bring us to 1,600 tons, but that will do for now. Look at that, it's quite long, isn't it? Now I should be able to find a few victims in the collection to pull this. Let's have a look at a couple of pictures. First we have this one, which I quite like, which is a picture of a coal train near the city of Brunswick or Braunschweig in 1972. It is pulled by a Baureihe 50, a BR50, and this one has a cab in the tender. Now Märklin did this one and it was called the model number 3084. And here it is on its way, pulling the consist with a bit of smoke. Check the wheel spin next to the signal. Cool. But the locomotive is just barely strong enough to pull that load. We'll stay at ground level with this one for now, because I'm not sure it's going to make it up the ramp without any assistance. We'll check this out later. Let's have a look at it going past once again. Very nice. Right, let's look at another locomotive, and we'll move to the northwest of Germany, near a little town called Meppen. That was the line where the Langer Heinrichs were going round. And that's a BR44. I've got one in the collection. You've seen it before in another video or two. It's the legendary Märklin 3047. It may be slightly before the time the picture was taken, but I'm sure you'll be able to see past this. Effortless, this one. With these old constructions from Märklin, you can literally hear every single gear interlocking into the next one. It's like a little watch or a clock. It's a very nice model, and it pulls the consists very easily. It's a shame the smoke generator is not working on this one. Right, time to look at another picture. This time we have a V160. It's the BR216 in a crimson color, I think it's called. So the color was actually pre-1974, but the picture was taken later. This goes to show that the era system is okay as a guideline, but the reality is often a bit different. Nothing beats the pictures from the time. So Märklin did one of these as a model number 3075, which I've railed now. Let's have a look at how it behaves. Oh, very smooth departure. It's one of the locos I've got in the spares box. I don't have a box for it. Yet it is behaving very nicely. It's slowing down here because I've got a permanent braking section before the signal, and it accelerates again. Absolutely no issue. It's quite a nice sight. And I think I've got the right speed as well for a change. People always say I'm going too fast. So, time to look at another picture. And this time we're on a bridge, and we're going to have a look at a little sister of the previous model. It's another BR216, this time on a bridge over the Rhine River. Märklin did this blue ocean and beige version under number 3074. And this time we'll join the consist on the layout as it goes over the bridge as well. I never get tired of the sound of the steel wheels on the metal bridges. It's quite surprising. So far, the only loco that struggled a bit is the BR50, from which I would have expected that it wouldn't struggle. Everything else I would have expected some problems, but it seems to be behaving itself. It's the first time I'm using this logo, I think. I've had it a few years now. And I've just put a bit of oil in it, nothing else. So just to show you that I didn't set up the train on the bridge, we're just gonna watch it climb the ramp. I have the transformer set at speed setting 110, I think. Yeah. And again, effortless. Brilliant. Right, it's time to look at the next picture I found, which is of a BR151 next to a town called Finnentrop. I have no clue where that is. In Germany anyway. And the Märklin model I've taken out is the 3057. And given the performance of the two previous models, I am sure this one will be fine. And indeed it is. No drama. Absolutely effortless again. So we can also mix and match the models in double headers. For example, this unconventional double traction with a BR50 like the one we saw earlier and a BR216. So let's put those two together in front of the consist and see how this looks like. And that's quite unusual and nice as well. The BR50 was engineered to reach its maximal speed in both directions, so it's actually not that uncommon to see them travel with the cab forward. And this time we're going to go up the ramp. No problem at all, and almost no wheel spin on the BR50. Excellent. Let's put the two BR216s together now. Again on the bridge. And that's a good shot to judge the length of the consist, which is just under 3 meters. Right, let's watch the train go through the station. And then we'll move on to the next double header. And that's going to be the two BR151s, so that shouldn't be a surprise because the box sets the cars came from were originally sold with a pair of BR151s. So I'm in line with what Märklin wanted us to do with those cars. But that's a very nice consist, isn't it? So, when in doubt, use a few pictures. And I'm using a few sites quite frequently when I prepare running sessions or I do some locomotive reviews. The first one I'm using a lot is Eisenbahnstiftung.de, which has a lot of pictures arranged in a large gallery that can be searched by locomotive class or keyword. Then I use bahnbilder.de from time to time. It's the same arrangement, but it covers the whole world. There's a sister site called the railpictures.com, which looks exactly the same. There again, you can do some keyword searches. The search is very basic, but there's a lot to look at there. Then we have another little site called traktionswandel.de, which is organized a bit differently. The topic is the time where steam was being phased out and replaced by either diesel or electric engines in Germany. And there are several galleries based on a topic or a theme around a journey that was done on a certain day or week back in the 1960s, 1970. It's very interesting and I would recommend a visit there. As you probably already know if you watched the other videos on the channel, I'm not somebody who pays much attention to realism, look at the layout, hint, but I do like running stuff that is meant to run together. So these sites are a great help in allowing me to do this. Right, we've arrived at the end of the video. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. It's very much appreciated. I'd also like to thank all the subscribers to the channel. It never ceases to amaze me that people are so interested in the content I publish that they subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified of the upload, and sometimes even give me a like. It's all very rewarding and keeps me going. Thank you very much again for this. But for now, bye and see you soon on the channel.